Hello, everyone. Gemma Gilbert here. I am here today with you to talk about shifts in marketing. And in this video, I'm going to go through 5 of the core shifts we are seeing in 2024. Now, why is this important? Because staying consistent with your client base is getting hard. There are increased number of challenges, and more businesses, to put it simply, are going out of business. And sometimes we have this resistance to be a marketer as well as being the service provider that you are particularly skilled in. And to be successful, to stay successful, and to stay consistent in your lead flow and your sales, you have to take on and accept the role of marketer as well. So businesses that will succeed for the rest of 2024 and into 2025 are the ones that stay ahead of the curve and aware of the trend, and don't stick your head in the sand and pretend they're not happening. Okay, so our first shift, and this has been like increasingly happening over the years because of the accessibility of the internet and who we can reach, is just market saturation. In the coaching industry that I am in, or whether it's consultants or other service providers, we have the lowest barrier to entry ever to start a business. And that means that there will be so many people that do the exact same thing as you, probably with similar sounding programs, similar skill sets, similar qualifications as well. And that makes it very hard for you to stand out in the online world. Now, what do you need to do to actually stand out? And I say this so often. If you are accessing a global audience, not a local business, but a global audience, you have to double down on your niche. You have to get specific on who you help and what you help them with. And you have to look for unique ways to differentiate your message, how you can make your message not just clear, because clarity isn't really enough anymore. It has to be memorable. It has to be sticky. And you need to bring yourself into it, because people are getting tired of big brands where they don't have access to the person leading it, right? They're looking for more authenticity and connections. That's our first challenge, is the saturation of the market. Our second challenge, and one thing I've really been noticing, is an increase in client expectation, but also along with this, people are taking longer to actually buy. When people are buying, firstly, they're looking for specialists. So client expectations have gone up. They're not just looking for someone that offers a vague program that might answer some of their problems. They're looking for the go-to specialist who has proof that they have solved this problem over and over again, because we have more transparency in business now. People expect to be able to go to your website and hear from other people directly chatting about their experience. So we've got more transparency, but along with that, we've got increased skepticism because people are used to being ripped off. So they are looking for trust and authenticity and proof through case studies and real people talking about their experiences. On top of that, we have a lot of opportunity for mistrust or backlash coming out and ruining people's reputations, because if someone has a bad experience of you, they can share that very publicly online. Add on top of this economic conditions, right? We've got more economic challenges. So people are more nervous to invest in online services and programs because they have less money, right? Overall, they have less cash to spend. So they're being more careful. So what do we need to do? First of all, the number one way you can overcome this is by focusing on client results. If you repeatedly get great results for your clients and you can show that through testimonials and case studies, then you can meet those client expectations with that proof that they have. Secondly, you want to ensure your niche is focused on a segment of audience that really need what you offer. And I refer to this as a bleeding neck problem. They have to seek help now, not just could. Because if you are in a nice to have niche with people that don't have an urgent need to solve the problem, then the economic climate and the slower buying decisions are going to make it really hard for you to have a profitable business in 2024. What's my third one? Okay. My third challenge is content overwhelm and the ever evolving social media algorithm and platforms that we have. So there is now so much content. We are so used to going onto Instagram or TikTok and just consuming short form after short form. And most of the time, We want to consume stuff that is entertaining, that is lighthearted, that takes us away from the seriousness of life. People aren't just going through short form content to learn everything about business. So, one, we've got a game of algorithms that heavily relies on you creating interaction with people. Now, then we've got the algorithms changing a lot. Now, what does this mean for your marketing? Firstly, if you are going to do short form marketing, as is the hot trend on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, then you have to go deep, not wide. As in, don't try and be on 5 platforms, master one of them. Because the changes are going to mean that you need to stay abreast of those changes and changing your strategy and testing the new stuff that they're doing so that your content still gets seen. Now, another challenge. If, like me, you're an introvert and the idea of doing this short form content as your main marketing strategy just doesn't light you up and it isn't where you want to spend your time, then you're going to need to double down on a long form strategy and really focus on building long term relationships and connection and community. Because if you're not going to play that social media game, then what are you going to do instead? So for me, it adds to my email list and starting a YouTube channel and doubling down on those strategies and knowing that it's going to take longer that to form those longer term relationships. Number four, fourth change. A massive shift I've seen towards more values based and ethical marketing. It's not just enough anymore that you offer the solution to the problem that people have. People are really wanting to buy from people that they align with in every area of life, and ethics and values are such a huge part of that. So, this should underpin your brand, right? This should be how can you showcase in your marketing, and I don't mean put your values on your website because that's just so empty. How can you showcase your values? So, if one of your values is sustainability, then what are you doing in your brand, in your marketing to show that is one of your values? If it's in integrity, but then on your sales calls, you're using really dodgy tactics, that doesn't align, right? So, you need to be showcasing through your actions what your values are so people can buy from you as well as explicitly saying it if it's absolutely crucial. And my last one is AI. Okay, now we have so much AI powered kind of content, automation, and competition now, which means some of the best content being created is AI. And it's really challenging to beat that. Now, we can say they can never quite replicate this or this, but the reality is the speed at which AI is developing and the way it's being used present a massive challenge and a threat to many of our businesses. So, what can you do? Firstly, you can embrace AI for efficiencies in your business, right? And if you're not looking at this, if you're not looking how it can save you time, even in the most basic way, it's likely that the cost to running your business is just going to be so high compared to others. But secondly, the thing we can do is really focus on the areas where AI cannot replicate the things we have as a human race. So it cannot replicate authentic relationships and community. So in your service, really thinking about what is that skill set, your brain, that would be so hard for AI to replicate and personalize for a client. And how can you create very personal client experiences which showcase that skill set? How can you build in your marketing those authentic relationships and community that AI just can't compete with? And the last one is serve so generously, it's painful because all of the information that you teach is available. Someone can literally go to an AI platform and say, write me a course on this, and pretty much have all of that information that you teach. Obviously, you're going to add angles to it. So it's the implementation of that stuff that is key. And this links back to our challenge, our client expectations as well. People aren't expecting information anymore. It's all available. They are expecting you to hold their hand until they implement. And that is what they're judging the success of your service on, not if you teach them the stuff, if they are able to implement and action the stuff. So if you want to grow and be successful in the rest of 2024, you need to think about each of these things I've gone through today and think proactively, how am I going to meet that challenge? Because if you are passive with these challenges, the likelihood is your business will slowly tail off because you just cannot compete with AI, the saturation in the market, and the other shifts that people are making to stay ahead of the curve.